Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a series here because recently the Nelk boys, yeah, the ones that started off doing pranks and stuff like that, right, fixed the damage that they have caused on themselves. Because when they decided to do this interview with a war criminal, they were called out, and now they're trying to do control damage and so on and so forth, right? And they had an interview, not an interview, I'm sorry, they made a video asking Myron about his opinion about it. They asked Hassan Piker, and they also asked Nico, right? Now the reason I'm uploading this now, because this is going to be just a little short monologue, just so I can build the foundation of what it is that I'm going to be reacting to. And if you want to see the reaction, then you can go ahead and just click on the next video, and then that'll take you to the reaction. First thing is I'm going to react to Myron Gaines, and then I'll try to react to Hassan Piker and what's his name, Sneeko. Now, I didn't watch the whole entire interview. I'm just going to go ahead and be perfectly honest with you guys. I didn't watch the whole entire interview. Why? Because for over 20 months, we have seen what's been going on in Gaza. So what can Netanyahu possibly say that's going to convince me that what he's doing in Gaza is okay? I've been on X. I've downloaded X. I've been on X for quite a while now. And keeping up with the whole story of Gaza, I have seen nothing but just destruction on top of destruction. All this, ladies and gentlemen, because they claim that, October 7th is an event that is far worse than the Holocaust, which I'm like, it doesn't come close, because according to them, they claim that over 6 million Jews were unalived by Hitler, right? And October 7th was only 1,200 people that died on that day. And also keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the Hannibal Directive was also activated on that day. This was said by Yoav Gallant. So this is not like a conspiracy theory or anything like that. This was said by the ex-defense minister, Yoav Gallant. He said, word by word, yeah, we used the Hannibal Directive on October 7th. And in fact, he goes as far as saying that, yeah, we should have used it in some other area. So we know they used it. And what is the Hannibal Directive, if you're wondering? The Hannibal Directive pretty much is, the IOF are allowed to pretty much use an Apache helicopter, guns, whatever it is that they have in their disposal to unalive their own people, to prevent them from being captured by Hamas, because Hamas will use them as a bargaining chip to get some of their people back from the concentration camp that the Israelis have. Keep in mind, by the way, the Israelis have over thousands of Palestinian prisoners, thousands of them. Okay, so Hamas is trying to get these people out, and so what they will do is they will try to go kidnap some of the Israelis, so that way they can use them as a bargaining chip to get some of their people back. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what Hamas did on October 7th is justifiable, and I'm not claiming that they didn't kill anybody either. But what I am saying is they activated the Hannibal Directive on that day, and then they decided to take the whole entire blame and shift it all onto Hamas, so that way they can use that as a justification to go and just cause complete destruction. All right, and another one that they came up with was the unaliving of the 40 babies that they were also mentioning. Okay, so the podcast that I'm going to the video that I'm going to react to, they're going to mention all of these things, and I will just try my best to debunk the ones that Myron doesn't go over, because there's so much lies that was said on that podcast. It's unimaginable. You have to understand that Netanyahu understands that the youth of America have completely shifted the idea of what Israel is. The only people who are still supporting Israel are like the 40-year-old, the people who have one foot in the grave. Those are the only people who are still supporting it. All right. Social media has exposed the genocide that's going on in the Middle East. They know that. So Netanyahu, of course, he understands that. So that's why he chose to come onto the Nelk Boys podcast, just so he can spew his bullshit propaganda to the youth to try to win them back. But it backfired majorly. And now the Nelk Boys are out there trying to, fix their reputation once again. In my opinion, they said they're going to try to bring, a pro-Palestinian onto the podcast and ask them questions, but it's like, dude, a war criminal? Really? A war criminal? If this was Tucker Carlson or Candace Owen or these actual journalists, the backlash wouldn't be like this, because we understand that these are journalists and they will ask the hard questions. When you listen to the podcast of the Nelk Boy, you also need to understand that it was a washed down version of it, for one. Two, the Nelk Boy didn't even ask hard questions. Literally, one of the questions is, what's your favorite McDonald's, or what is your favorite fast food? You literally asked a war criminal, somebody who is sitting right in front of you, letting thousands of innocent people be blown up to pieces. And the question you ask him is, what is your favorite fast food? Seriously. Like really? And so that's why I genuinely believe that they deserve the backlash that they got. All right. Perhaps it would have been a little bit easier if they were to ask the hard questions. Was the Hannibal Director activated on October 7th? Did you take money from Qatar? Are you trying to continue the war so that way you do not, go to jail, because he's literally starting wars all over the place because he knows that once he gets out of power, he's going to be charged with war crime. See, these are just questions off the top of my head. These guys had time to come up with some good questions, some hard-hitting questions. But they didn't even do that. And if you listen to the podcast, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, man. They did not ask that much question. When I was just skimming through it just to see if there was to ask some genuine questions, about 90% of the time is nothing but Benjamin Netanyahu spewing nothing but his propaganda. Nothing but his propaganda. And the reason I chose not to listen to the podcast, simple, because this man cannot tell me anything that I can be like, oh, okay, I can see why you're trying to blow a bunch of kids. That makes sense. Yeah, continue. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, anyways, man, I know I yapped on for way too long, man. If you made it this far, like I said, I'm about to make a reaction video. I just wanted to go ahead and introduce you guys to exactly what it is that, that's going to be talked about and so on and so forth. And, I'm not going to be doing much talking there. So this will give you an idea of all that. So if you do go to the next video, I'll see you there.